Good morning, children. The topic for class 10 today is relationship between the zeros and coefficients of a polynomial. Okay, now if you take a linear polynomial, say ax plus b. Okay, now this is a linear polynomial. Now we find that the zero of this polynomial, if this is equal to p of x, then 0 of p of x is equal to minus b by a. This we already learned in class 9 and we recapped in the last class. Now, in case of a quadratic polynomial, what happens? That is what we are going to see today. In case of a quadratic polynomial, let us write down the standard form of a quadratic polynomial, namely ax squared plus bx plus c. Let alpha and beta be the zeros of this polynomial. In case of this, what happens is we find alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. Now what is alpha plus beta? That is the sum of zeros. So we find that sum of zeros is equal to minus b by a. Then alpha into beta, that is product of zeros, is equal to c by a. So in case of a quadratic polynomial ax squared plus bx plus c, we find that the sum of zeros alpha plus beta is equal to the negative of the x coefficient divided by the coefficient of x squared, and the product of the zeros is equal to the constant term divided by the coefficient of x squared. Okay, now this concept can be used to solve a few sums. Okay, let us see how that goes. Now supposing we have a sum given, find the zeros of x squared plus 7x plus 10 and verify the relationship between the zeros and coefficients. Okay, now supposing this of this polynomial, okay, coefficients of p of x. Okay, so let us say p of x is equal to this. Find the zeros of p of x, x is equal to x squared plus 7x plus 10, and verify the relationship between the zeros and its coefficients. That is what the question is. Now how will we find the zeros of this polynomial? Yes, we can factorize and find the zeros. So let us see. If you say x squared plus 7x plus 10, how will we factorize this? By splitting the middle term. Now for that, what should we do? We have to take the coefficient of x squared and the constant term and multiply. When you multiply, what will you get? You'll get 10. Now write down the factors of 10. What are the factors of 10? 1 into 10. Then 2 into 5. Any other factor for 10? No. So now you see which set of factors are apt to split the middle term and right. So if you add or subtract the factors, you should get the middle term. Now if I take 1 plus 10, what will I get? I will get 11. When I subtract 10 and 1, I'll get 9. So the middle term is not going to be got. So what we can do is, we can take 2 and 5. If I add 2 and 5, will I get 7x? Yes. So if I take 10x squared as my factors. So you'll get 2x into 5x. So this one we can cancel out. So we will take this set of factors and split the middle term. So what will you get? 1x squared plus 2x plus 5x plus 10. So the first term and the last term I've written as it is, and the second term I've split it as 2x plus 5x. Now factorize by seeing what is common in these two terms. What is common? X is common. So what do I have left? X plus 2. Okay? Plus, always bring down the same sign. In these two terms, what is common? 5 is common. So what is left? X plus 2. Why 2? 5 2s are 10. I cannot change the question. I have to check whether I am getting back the same polynomial as earlier. So now you see what is common in these two terms. These two terms, x plus 2 is common. So x plus 2 into what is left? X plus 5. Okay, so I have factorized the polynomial. Now how will I get the zeros? Equate this to 0. So what will you get? You get x plus 2 equal to 0 and x plus 5 equal to 0. So what is x equal to? Minus 2 and x is equal to minus 5. So I have got x is equal to minus 2 and x is equal to minus 5. Let me see whether it satisfies the condition of the zeros and the coefficients. We have found the zeros. The question was to find the zeros of p of x. We have found the zeros of p of x to be x is equal to minus 2 and x is equal to minus 5. So now we have to verify the relationship between the zeros and its coefficients. Now for that, what I am going to do is, so let alpha equal to minus 2 and beta equal to minus 5. These two are my zeros. Now let me see what is sum of zeros equal to. Sum of zeros is equal to alpha plus beta. And what is that equal to? Minus 2 plus minus 5. So what will I get? I will get minus 2 minus 5, which is equal to minus 7. Now, what is from the polynomial, let me see what is a equal to. A is equal to 1, b is equal to 7 and c is equal to 10, where a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x and c is the constant term. Now what is minus 7 equal to? Minus 7 is equal to, b is 7, so actually it is minus b by, if I put minus 7 by 1, so what will you get that as? A is 1, so minus b by a. So I have verified the relationship regarding the sum of zeros. Let us see about the product of zeros. Product of zeros is equal to alpha into beta. Now what is alpha? Alpha is minus 2 into what is beta? Minus 5. When you multiply both, you will get 10. Okay. Now if it is 10 by 1, can we say it is equal to c by a? Yes. So have you understood how we have verified the relationship between the zeros and its coefficients? Okay. Yes. So after this we have to write hence verified. So this is a 2-mark question. The 1 mark will be to find the zeros and the other mark will be to find to verify the relationship between the zeros and its coefficients. Okay, let us go through another example. Let us say the sum that is given to you is find the zeros of the polynomial x squared minus 6, say, and verify the relationship between the zeros and its coefficients. Okay, so the first part of the question is to find the zeros of this polynomial. Now we know that there is no middle term, so we don't have to go for splitting the middle term. Directly equate to 0. So what will you get? X squared minus 6 equal to 0. So what is x squared is equal to plus 6. So what is x equal to? Root of 6 plus or minus, isn't it? So we have, there are two values for x. What are the values? Root 6 and minus root 6. Always when there is a quadratic equation, it should have two answers. So we have got the zeros as root 6 and minus root 6. Now let us verify the relationship between the zeros and its coefficients. From this polynomial, what is a equal to? A is equal to 1. And what is b equal to? There is no middle term. So b is 0. And what is c equal to? Minus 6. So we have got the coefficient of x squared as a, the coefficient of x term as b, and the constant term as c. Now let us verify the relationship. So what is sum of zeros equal to? So actually here you have to write verification and do it. Okay. This is to find the zeros. Now we are doing the verification. Sum of zeros is equal to, what is sum of zeros equal to? Alpha plus beta, correct? Now what is my alpha? Alpha is root 6 and beta is minus root 6. So you get root 6 plus minus root 6. So that is equal to 0. So is this equal to minus b by a? Yes, b is 0, correct, and a is 1. So this is verified. So we have verified sum of zeros. Let us verify product of zeros. Product of zeros is equal to alpha into beta. Now what is my alpha? You get root 6 into, what is beta? Minus root 6. When you multiply, what will you get? You will get minus 6. Correct? Root 6 into root 6 is 6. Plus into minus is minus. So minus 6. Now is this equal to c by a? Yes. If I put minus 6 by 1, I will get that equal to c by a. After this we have to write hence verified. Have you understood, children? Now let us recap this. We have a polynomial x squared minus 6. We are finding the zeros of this polynomial. So for that I have equated it to 0. When I have equated it to 0, by transposing I get x squared is equal to 6. So what is x equal to? Plus or minus root 6. So alpha is equal to root 6 and beta is equal to minus root 6. Now let us go for the verification of the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of this polynomial. The coefficients of this polynomial, I am going to write it down as a is equal to 1, b is equal to, there is no x term, so it will be 0, and c is equal to minus 6. Now sum of zeros. What is sum of zeros? Alpha plus beta. So what is alpha plus beta? Root 6 plus minus root 6. Correct? So when you add both, you get it as 0. And a 0 can be divided by 1, right? So what will you get that as? This is equal to minus b by a. B is 0 and a is 1. So no worry about that. Now let us see the product of zeros. Product of zeros is equal to alpha into beta. And what is that? Root 6 into minus root 6. So we get minus 6 by 1, which is equal to c by a. Have you understood? Okay. Now let us go on to one more type of sum that is there, and for this sum of zeros and product of zeros. Okay. Sometimes they will give you the sum of zeros and the product of zeros and ask you to find the corresponding polynomial. So let's see that type of question. Find the quadratic polynomial whose sum and product of zeros are, just say 5 and minus 2 respectively. Okay, if this is the question, let's see how we go about it. So what is given, you write down what is given. they have said sum of zeros, that is alpha plus beta. What is that equal to? 5. Because they've said respectively sum is 5. Okay. And what is sum equal to? It is equal to minus b by a. So from this, what do I get? I get b is minus 5, a is 1. Right? We will see about it. So, and what is alpha into beta equal to? The minus 2. So minus 2 by 1, which is equal to c by a. So in both cases we find a is 1. So what do I get from this? A is 1. What is b equal to? Minus b is 5. Minus b is equal to 5. Therefore b is equal to minus 5. So you get b is equal to minus 5 and c is equal to minus 2. So now I know a, b and c. So can we find the quadratic polynomial? What is the standard form? Ax square plus bx plus c. So that implies the required polynomial is, what is a? 1. 1x square plus what is bx? Minus 5 into x minus 2. So x square minus 5x minus 2 is my required polynomial. Have you understood? So these type of sums are also asked for 2 marks. Okay, today I would like you to do some homework based on these 2 concepts and see if you have understood it. Thank you children. Have a good day and stay home, stay safe.